Thanksgiving comes from a day of giving thanks to God. The modern American Thanksgiving holiday was created in the 19th century. They combined the religious part of it with the eating part of it. Thanksgiving evolved into a national holiday that blended various traditions. Those traditions included the Christians, the natives, and the Europeans. Most of our modern holidays, like Christmas and Easter, are a combination of pagan Christian traditions. Thanksgiving, on the other hand, don't have much of a Christian influence. A religious holiday called Days of Thanksgiving was practiced in the Church of England. That was the one day they set aside to give thanks to God. So that's where we get the name Thanksgiving. Okay, so what's the real story behind Thanksgiving? According to the New York Times, the Mayflower did in fact bring settlers from England to land which they colonized and still remains Plymouth, Massachusetts. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. An Indian tribe called the Wampanoag was already there on land celebrating their own little Thanksgiving, minding their own business. And here come these white men. But the Indians been there years before the Europeans stepped foot on their ground, which is now called the United States of America. But the Europeans did not only bring themselves, they brought foreign illnesses that killed millions of Indians. And to the colonizers, that made it more easier to take over the land. The leader of the Wampanoag tribe, Osamaquin, the chief, he wanted to form an alliance after the Europeans never even acknowledged them, never invited them over, had feasts, had Thanksgiving, and had all these parties on our land, and y'all don't want to invite us over? Disrespectful. But you know, eventually they got together, man. They sat down and everything. Everybody came in the group, so the Indians was showing up, and the Pilgrims was out there in a group with guns, bearing arms and shooting it up and having a field day, drunk and all type of stuff. So the Indians, not knowing what's going on, they thought it was go time. They felt offended and whatnot. They thought they were shooting at us. But you know, they ended up sitting down and talking it out for like 3 days. And they enjoyed the feast with the Pilgrims. So the Indians and the Pilgrims, they sat down, they talking and everything. The Indians thinking everything cool, but little did they know, the Pilgrims had something up their sleeve. So they offered the Indians with blankets full of smallpox. This was around the time that, you know, it wasn't a lot of medical doctors out there. We didn't have a lot of, you know what I'm saying, cures for a lot of things. So smallpox was very big. And it killed off a lot of Indians, man. It killed off a lot of them. And so the Pilgrims saw an opportunity to take over the whole land. And fortunately, they did. And turned it into America. So in the end, you can see why people are, you know what I'm saying, they feel a certain type of way to celebrate something positive around a holiday that was really a tragic holiday. Thanksgiving. For more content, subscribe.